The sun had just gone down. The sky turned orange, then dark blue, and finally black. A soft wind blew through the tall trees near a small town. In a quiet house at the edge of the forest, a woman named Mira sat on her porch with a cup of tea. She was tired but peaceful. Mira was a single mother. Her son Z was 10 years old, curious, kind, and full of questions. Life had not been easy for them. Mira worked long hours at a small clinic in town, and every day was a new challenge. But she never gave up. She always found a way for Z. That evening, Z ran out onto the porch with his small flashlight. "Mom, can we take a walk in the woods? Just for a little while?" he asked. Mira looked up. "It's late, Z. Maybe tomorrow. Please. Just 5 minutes. I want to see if the owl came back." She smiled. "Okay, 5 minutes. But stay close." They put on their jackets and walked into the trees. The forest was calm, crickets chirped, and leaves rustled under their feet. Z kept pointing his flashlight around, searching for the owl. Mira stayed close behind, watching the shadows. Suddenly, Z stopped. His light was pointed at the ground. "Mom, do you hear that?" Mira listened. At first, there was nothing, but then she heard it to a faint, metallic clicking sound, like something tapping against metal. Over and over. "It's coming from there," Z whispered, pointing to a small hill covered in leaves. Mira's heart began to race. "Z, stay back." She moved carefully toward the hill. The clicking sound got louder. She knelt down and brushed away some leaves. Her fingers hit something cold metal. She cleared more dirt and leaves and found what looked like a metal hatch. It was dented, scratched, and half buried. A small light blinked weakly on the side. Then the clicking stopped. Mira leaned closer. Suddenly, she heard a muffled voice, very faint, almost like a whisper. "Help, please." Her breath caught in her throat. Someone was inside. "Z, go get the shovel from the shed. Now." Z ran as fast as he could. Mira kept digging with her hands, trying to open the hatch. It took 5 long minutes before Z returned, panting. With the shovel, together, they cleared more dirt. Finally, the hatch clicked open with a hiss. Inside, there was a man, dirty, weak, and barely conscious. His clothes were torn. His face was pale. He looked like he hadn't seen sunlight in days. "Don't worry," Mira said quickly. "You're safe now." The man looked at her with tired eyes. His lips moved slowly. "They're coming," he whispered, "and only you can stop them." Then he collapsed. Mira and Z worked fast. They pulled the man out and carried him back to their home. He was heavy, but Mira had strength from years of hard work. She placed him on the couch, covered him with a blanket, and checked his breathing. He was alive, but just barely. Z stood nearby, holding the strange object he found next to the metal pod. It was a small cube, black and smooth, with glowing blue lines on its sides. "Mom," Z said. This thing was in the dirt next to him. "Look." As he held it, the cube glowed brighter. It made a soft humming sound. Then it floated an inch above his palm and turned slowly. Mira stared at it. "That's not from around here." Z nodded slowly. "Do you think he's an alien?" "I don't know," she said. "But I don't think he is. He looks human and scared." That night, Mira didn't sleep. She sat beside the man, giving him water drop by drop and cleaning his wounds. She had seen many injuries in her work, but nothing like this. His arms had small burns, his skin had strange cuts, and there was a thin metal piece attached to the back of his neck. He fell asleep in the next room, the cube still glowing softly beside him. Hours passed. Just before dawn, the man opened his eyes. "You saved me," he whispered. "Yes," Mira said softly. "Who are you?" "My name is Liam," he said slowly. "They tried to kill me, bury me. I didn't think anyone would find me." "Who did this?" Mira asked. "People who want the world to stay blind. I was trying to tell the truth." "What truth?" He looked at her, his eyes full of fear and urgency. "A signal from the stars. It's waking up." Mira frowned. "What kind of signal?" He looked toward Z's room. "The cube. It shows you. That's why you hurt me. That's why you found me." Mira didn't understand. "Me? Why me?" because you've already survived the worst. You're strong. You don't give up, Mira said in silence. Her heart beat faster, but her voice stayed calm. What do you need me to do? Liam looked at her and gave a small, tired smile. Live, fight, and listen, because soon everyone will hear it. Then he closed his eyes again, falling into deep sleep. Morning came. The sun rose gently over the forest. Birds sang. The world looked the same, but nothing was the same anymore. Inside a small house on the edge of the woods, a mother, her son, and a half-dead millionaire were about to face something far bigger than any of them had ever imagined. And in the next room, the cube kept glowing, waiting. The morning sun lit up the small house at the edge of the forest. Birds chirped in the trees, and the air smelled fresh after a quiet night. But inside Mira's house, nothing felt normal. Liam, the man Mira had rescued from the metal pod, was still asleep on the couch. His face was calm, but his body was weak. Mira sat in the kitchen, watching him from a distance. Her son Z sat beside her, holding the glowing black cube. Mom, Z whispered. Do you think he's really telling the truth? Mira looked at her son. I don't know, but something strange is happening. Z, that cube, it's not normal, and we found him buried in the forest. Z stared at the cube. It floated again in his hands, spinning slowly. When Mira touched it, the blue lights grew brighter. Then something happened. The cube projected a hologram above their table. A circle of lights appeared, showing stars, planets, and something that looked like Earth in the center. Z gasped. It's showing space. Mira leaned closer. She didn't understand the symbols, but she saw one thing clearly: a bright red line moving toward Earth from far away. It looked like a countdown. Before she could say anything, Liam woke up with a deep cough. Water, he said weakly. Mira rushed to him with a glass. Here, drink slowly. Liam took a few sips and then looked around. You kept me alive. I couldn't just leave you there, she said. Liam nodded. Thank you. My name is Liam Dorn. I was part of a project, a secret one. Z, step forward. Are you a spy? Liam gave a tired smile. No, I'm poor. I was a billionaire. I made my money in space technology. I helped build a team called Project Dawn. We wanted to go further than the government, explore deep space. But what happened to you? Mira asked. Liam leaned back and took a breath. 3 months ago, one of our private satellites picked up a strange object floating near the edge of our solar system. It wasn't a rock. It was a machine, old, dark, and silent. But then it sent a signal. Not to space, to Earth. Z's eyes widened. To Earth, Liam nodded. Yes, it sent a code. We couldn't understand it at first, but one of our scientists started decoding it. The message was clear. He paused. His voice became low. Earth is not alone, and we are being watched. Mira felt a chill run down her spine. Watched? By who? Liam looked at her seriously. I don't know, but the message spoke of a test of survival, of truth, and of sacrifice. He pointed at the cube. That device came from the object. It dropped it into Earth's orbit. It was meant to be found by someone who had passed that test. Mira frowned. Why me? Liam's eyes were gentle. Because you've lived through pain and never gave up. That's what they're looking for. Not money, not power, but strength of spirit. Mira didn't know what to say. For years, she had worked hard, alone, raising Z, facing life's struggles without help. And now someone was saying that made her special. It didn't feel real. Later that day, Liam showed them a small device hidden in his jacket. It looked like a metal pen, but when he pressed a button, it displayed a map. This is where Project Dawn's secret lab is located, he said. It's underground, far from the city. They shut it down after I was attacked. Attacked by who? Mira asked. By my own partners, Liam said sadly. They wanted to hide the truth. They were afraid of what people would do if they found out. Z looked confused. But why bury you alive? I tried to send a message to the world. Liam said, I recorded everything and was going to share it, but someone stopped me. They knocked me out, took me to the forest, and left me inside that pod. To die quietly. Mira felt angry. They tried to erase you. Yes, Liam said. But thanks to you, I'm still here. And now we must act. That lab may still have data. We need to go there. The cube will help us unlock it. The next morning, they packed food, water, and supplies. Mira put the cube in a small backpack. Z insisted on coming, and Mira agreed, though she told him to stay close and not take risks. They took Mira's old car and drove for hours through hills and valleys. Liam gave directions. Finally, they reached a quiet field surrounded by trees. At the center, there was nothing, just grass and wind. This is it, Mira asked. Liam smiled. Watch this. He stepped onto a small stone on the ground and tapped his pen-like device. A circle of grass suddenly sank, revealing a hidden metal door. It opened slowly with a loud hiss. Z's mouth dropped open. Oh? Then we're not alone anymore, Z said. No, Mira agreed. We're not. That evening, Liam opened a box he had kept hidden. Inside was a small metal device, shaped like a coin. This, he said, is a beacon. We used it during Project Dawn to contact others in the network. I thought it was broken. But now, look. The beacon was glowing faintly. Liam turned it on. A map appeared in the air above it, showing several red dots blinking across the world. Those are all people who've been touched by the signal, Liam said. Maybe only a few now, but more will come. Z looked at his mom. You should talk to them. Mira hesitated. I don't know if I'm ready for that. Liam placed a hand on her shoulder. Mira, you saved me. You saved this cube. You've already passed the first part of the test. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be honest. That night, as they sat near the fire, Mira thought about her life. She remembered the nights she cried alone after Z was born. She remembered working long hours in the clinic, coming home tired, and still cooking dinner with a smile. She remembered how many times she wanted to give up, but didn't. The cube glowed brighter beside her. In her heart, she finally understood. This was the test. Not the lab, not the crystal, but life itself. And she had already been living it for years. The next morning, the cube made a new sound, a soft chime. Then, without warning, a hologram appeared in the air. A woman's face showed up. She looked tired, but strong. Her hair was messy. Behind her was a desert with strange machines. She spoke. My name is Yana. I live in a research outpost in the middle of the Nevada desert. 2 nights ago, a black cube appeared near our camp. I touched it. It showed me my past, my struggles, my loneliness. Then it showed me her. She paused, eyes focused. She saved someone in a forest. A man who told her the truth. Her name is Mira. Mira gasped. Z's eyes widened. She saw you. Liam said in amazement. The cubes are sharing visions. You're connected. The woman continued. If you can hear this, know that I believe you. I don't know where this is going, but I'm ready to follow. The message ended. For the first time, Mira didn't feel alone in this strange journey. Liam smiled. You started something. People are waking up. But what now? Z asked. Mira looked at the cube. Now, we prepare. The cube glowed again and projected one final message. Gather, share, lead. The trial is not only yours now. The signal was no longer quiet. It was moving across skies, through minds, and into hearts. And one simple mother, a brave child, and a buried millionaire were now leaders in something far greater than they had ever imagined. The test was just beginning. The forest around Mira's house was peaceful again. But Mira, Liam, and Z knew that the calm was only on the outside. Inside the earth, inside the sky, and deep inside the human heart, something powerful was moving. The cube no longer floated silently. It now glowed with a warm white light, spinning slowly in the air above the table. It had changed, and so had Mira. Liam stood in the living room with a map filled with red dots. 5 more people connected to the signal, he said. All of them saw visions, just like you. Z sat near the window, sketching the symbols that kept appearing in his dreams. Mira sat quietly, thinking. Ever since the crystal in the secret lab showed her memories, she had felt different, stronger. but also more connected to something bigger. And that night, something new happened. It started when the cube suddenly dropped to the floor. Z jumped up. Mom! Before Mira could move, a beam of light came from the cube and surrounded her. Her body froze. She could breathe, but couldn't speak. Her eyes stayed open, glowing softly. Liam rushed to her. The cube is calling her again. Z's voice trembled. Is she okay? She's not in danger, Liam said. She's entering a trial. Inside Mira's mind, everything went silent. She stood in a place that looked like space. Stars floated all around her, but she was standing on something solid and invisible. A soft wind moved through her hair, even though there was no air. A voice spoke. You have been chosen, not because of power, not because of fame, but because you chose to keep going. Mira looked around. Where am I? This is the heart of the signal, the test of spirit. You will now walk through your past in your truth. You will not fight with hands but with memory. Suddenly, she saw a hospital hallway. She was young again, holding baby Z in her arms. The doctor was telling her that she had to leave soon. There was no space, no support. She felt scared and alone. But she had walked out of that hospital and raised Z anyway. The memory faded. Next, she saw herself working in the clinic. Late at night, tired, hungry, and worried. But she smiled at every patient and came home to cook dinner for her son. Her body had hurt, but her will had stayed strong. The voice returned. You chose kindness when you had none given to you. You chose strength when the world offered none. That is leadership. Mira closed her eyes. She didn't want praise. She just wanted her son to have a better life. The final vision appeared. It was the day she had found Liam in the forest. She had heard a whisper. In the dark, she could have walked away, but she had not. She had chosen to help a stranger buried in the earth. The stars around her began to move, forming shapes, circles, lines, and lights like pathways. Then the voice spoke again. Others will follow your light, but first you must see yourself. Mira looked down and saw her own reflection not in glass, but in glowing stars. It was not just a body. It was her spirit, tired, bruised, but shining like fire. She whispered, I'm not special. I just didn't give up. The stars responded. That is what makes you special. Back in the real world. Mira fell to her knees. The beam of light faded. Liam and Z caught her gently. Mom, Z cried. Mira opened her eyes slowly. I'm okay. I saw everything. Liam asked softly, was it the trial? She nodded. Yes. It wasn't about fighting. It was about remembering, about choosing. I think I passed. The cube floated back into the air. A new symbol appeared in the room, one shaped like a circle within a hand. Mira stared at it. It means unity. Z smiled. Does that mean more people will come now? Yes, Liam said. The cube just confirmed it. Mira is now a guide. She completed the first full trial. Others will follow her path. Mira felt nervous. I don't know how to guide others. Liam looked at her with calm eyes. You already have. You led me back to life. You give Z hope. And now, you gave Earth a chance. That night, the beacon activated again. A new voice came through. It was a young man named Aaron from the mountains of Nepal. He had been chosen by a cube after he risked his life to save a village from a storm. Then another voice, a woman from Africa named Lena, a teacher who had stayed behind in a war zone to protect her students. Each person had a different story, different pain, but the same message. They had endured. They had chosen love, kindness, or courage when it was hardest. And the signal had found them. Liam sat with Mira as the messages played. It's happening, he said. The test isn't about technology or science. It's about humanity. The cube is not choosing the strong, it's choosing the worthy. Mira looked at the glowing cube. Then Earth still has hope. The next morning, Mira stood outside her home. The forest was quiet. The wind soft. Z ran to her, holding her hand. Mom, do you think more people will find the cubes today? Mira smiled gently. Yes, and when they do, we'll be ready to help them. Above their heads, the sky shimmered slightly. A new star blinked into view, as if watching them. The trial had begun. But so had something more powerful, a movement. Light in the darkness. And Mira, the single mother who had once felt invisible, was now a guide in humanity's most important test. The sky above the forest had begun to change. It looked normal, but if one watched closely, they would see something different, stars blinking in patterns, lights moving like they were speaking to each other. Inside Mira's house, the air felt heavy with purpose. More people had joined the signal every day. New voices came through Liam's beacon. From deserts, cities, jungles, and icy mountains, men and women who had faced pain, loss, and fear, but still chose hope. The world was changing, quietly. And at the center of it all was Mira. One morning, as Mira was preparing tea, the cube floated higher than usual. It spun faster, its leg glowing gold instead of silver. Liam rushed into the room. "It's happening." Z stood by Mira, holding her hand. "What's happening?" Before Liam could answer, a wide beam of light filled the house. It was not harsh, it felt warm, calm, and strong. Mira felt her body lift off the ground. Z tried to hold on, but the light gently pulled her away. "Mama," Z shouted, "I'll be back." She called out, her voice steady. Then she was gone. Mira opened her eyes and found herself standing on a clear surface, high above the earth. Stars surrounded her. Below her feet, the planet spun slowly, beautiful, blue, and peaceful. She wasn't afraid. The place felt safe. Then, from the sky, 5 tall lights formed. They were not people, not truly, but shapes made of energy. Each one was a different color. They spoke, not with words, but through feeling. "You have reached the final chamber. The voice of your world now rests with you." Mira looked around, amazed. "Who are you?" "We are the observers. We do not rule. We do not destroy. We only choose where knowledge will grow." Mira felt their meaning. They were part of a very old civilization, older than Earth's history. They had been watching many planets, quietly studying them. When they found one with life, they would leave a silent signal. "A test, a chance." She asked, "Why not help everyone?" "Because knowledge given too early can harm more than it helps. It must be earned through pain, patience, and kindness." Mira lowered her eyes. "And you think Earth is ready now?" The lights pulsed gently. "Your people are still divided, still learning. But we have seen what some of you do when no one is watching. We have seen those who choose to help, not for reward, but because it is right. You are one of them." Mira stood quietly. "But I'm not a leader. I'm just a mother, a nurse. You are a symbol of what matters. You protect life. You endure. That is leadership." One of the lights floated closer to her. It sent an image into her mind, and offer a choice. If she agreed, the cube would unlock its full power. It would share ancient knowledge with humanity, clean energy, healing systems, safe farming, space travel, and more. But there was a condition. Mira must decide how it would be shared. If given to the rich and powerful first, the technology would spread quickly but might be misused. If shared carefully, slowly, through the right people, it would take time but might stay safe and fair. Mira's heart beat faster. This decision wasn't just about her anymore. It was about every man, woman, and child on Earth. She asked, "Will people fight over this knowledge?" The lights responded, "Some will. Some always do. But your choice will shape how the future begins." Mira stood still for a long time. She remembered the long lines at the clinic, the mothers who cried at night, the fathers who worked until their hands bled, the children who smiled even when they had nothing. She remembered all those who gave even when they had little to give, and she made her choice. "I will not give it to the powerful. I will give it to the helpers, the quiet heroes, the teachers, the doctors, the farmers, the protectors." The lights glowed brighter. "You have chosen with heart, so shall it be." Suddenly, a new energy filled the space. Mira saw her own image, reflected in the sky. Around her appeared faces of the others, Yana, Aaron, Lena, and many more people who had been chosen across the world. They all looked toward her. They smiled. Mira felt peace. The light spoke one final time. The gift is not power. It is understanding. Lead with care. Lead with truth. And lead with love. Then the stars faded. Back in the forest, Liam held Z close. I don't know where she's gone. Z whispered. She'll come back, Liam said. She has too. And just then, a beam of soft golden light returned to the living room. Mira stood inside it, calm and smiling. Z ran to her. Mom, she hugged him tightly. I'm home. Liam stepped forward. Did they give us the knowledge? They gave me something greater, she said. They gave me trust and a choice. I chose to protect this gift, not sell it. The cube floated back into place. New symbols flashed in the air. This time, they were maps, blueprints, and peaceful tools, but only Mira could unlock them. Over the next few days, Mira and Liam formed a small team with the others who had been chosen. They call it the Pathkeepers, not to rule, but to guide. Mira shared the knowledge slowly. Not to companies, not to governments, but to communities. Farmers learned to grow better food without harming the earth. Villages received clean power. Doctors got tools that healed without cutting. No one knew her name on the news. But across the world, change began. A quiet, beautiful change. One night, Mira sat outside, looking at the stars. Z sat beside her, holding her hand. Do you think the whole world will be different now? He asked. Mira smiled. Not at once, but step by step, heart by heart, yes. The stars above twinkled gently, like they were proud. And Mira, once just a quiet mother in a small house, had now helped lift the world one choice at a time. Months passed. The forest outside Mira's house looked the same, but her world had changed forever. No longer was she just a single mother working long hours. No longer was Liam just a man buried alive. And no longer was the black cube just a mystery. Together, they had started something new. The knowledge Mira had received from the signal, the ancient wisdom given by the observers, was slowly spreading, not through loud headlines or big promises, but through quiet work, through honest hands, through people who cared more about others than themselves. The world didn't know her name, but it felt her light. Mira sat in the clinic where she still worked part-time. A small village boy sat in front of her. He had broken his arm climbing a tree. Mira smiled softly as she used a healing tool given by the cube's knowledge. No pain, no blood. The bone realigned on its own. Done, she said gently. You'll be running again soon. The boy's eyes widened. That was like magic. Mira laughed. It's not magic. It's science, used the right way. The boy ran off, happy, outside. Z was helping people install clean energy panels on their rooftops. Liam was working with local farmers to build soil restoring machines that didn't need fuel. All of it came from the cube's information, slowly and carefully unlocked by Mira. She never gave all the knowledge at once. She shared it piece by piece, only when people were ready, only where it would be respected. That was the promise she made to the observers. One day, a message arrived on the cube. A new vision. This time, Mira wasn't taken into space. She wasn't shown stars or trials. She was shown a school, a future school where children of all races and lands learned together. In the vision, Mira saw a little girl explaining how to grow food on Mars. She saw a boy designing machines that cleaned polluted rivers. The world was calm, green, and full of soft music. Then a voice whispered, "The future grows where hope is planted." Mira smiled. This wasn't just about survival anymore. It was about building something better. Liam joined her on the porch that evening. I received a message too, he said. The beacon showed me a city not like ours now, a peaceful one. Clean air, safe streets, people helping each other without fear. Did they say it would happen? Mira asked. They said. Liam replied, it can happen. If we continue, if we don't give up. Mira looked up at the stars. Sometimes I wonder, why me? Liam turned to her. Because you didn't ask for anything. You simply chose to do what was right. That's rare. That night, more pathkeepers came to visit. There was Yana from the desert, Aaron from the mountains, and Lena from the schools. They all sat together in Mira's small home, talking, laughing. and sharing what their people had built. Yana brought a map showing solar towers now powering villages in Africa. Lena told of children learning how to heal without medicine, just using light and sound. Aaron brought seeds that could grow in salty soil, something his region had struggled with for generations. None of it had gone public. None of it had made headlines. But the earth was quietly healing. Z listened carefully to their stories. He was growing taller now, wiser. His drawings had become more detailed. He started dreaming of building a space garden where plants could grow between planets. "You need help," Mira said, smiling. Z grinned. "I'll find people who don't give up, just like you." As weeks passed, people around the world began feeling the difference. Rivers started flowing clearer, small. Towns had electricity for the first time without harming the environment. Illnesses were treated faster. Food waste reduced. Kindness started spreading faster than fear. Not everyone understood how it was happening. And Mira didn't try to take credit. She believed in quiet change. One evening, the cube glowed again. But this time, it didn't send a vision, it played. A song. It was soft, gentle, like wind through trees and water over stones. Mira closed her eyes and let the sound fill her. Then, the cube whispered one final message. The trial is complete. Earth is still learning, but it is on the right path. We will not interfere. The rest belongs to you. Liam read the message aloud. They're leaving. They're trusting us. Mira said, "That means we passed." Z looked up. "Will they ever come back?" Mira nodded slowly. "Maybe, but not to lead, only to watch." The next morning, the cube stopped glowing. It didn't float. It didn't spin. It now looked like a simple stone, black, silent, and still. Z touched it. "Is it gone?" "No." Mira said softly. "It's resting. Its job is done." Years passed. Z grew up. He became a young man full of ideas, courage, and kindness. He built the first floating garden above the clouds, using the knowledge Mira once unlocked. Liam became a teacher, helping others build clean cities and safe homes. And Mira? She stayed in her little house near the forest. She still helped people, still cooked for Z, still listened to the wind in the trees. But the world around her had changed. Because she had once chosen to listen to a whisper in the woods. Because she had once saved a buried man who carried a warning. Because she had passed the test of heart. No statues were built in her name. No medals were hung around her neck. But across the earth, in quiet corners and smiling homes, people lived better lives. That was her reward. That was her story. A single mother who didn't give up. The end. They walked inside. The air was cold and the hallway dark. Liam found the power switch, and weak lights flickered on. Dust covered everything. Wires hung from the ceiling. Screens were cracked. "This was once the heart of Project Dawn," Liam said. "Now it's a ghost." They reached a control room with large screens and old equipment. Mira placed the cube on a metal platform in the center. It began to glow again. The main screen came alive. Symbols flashed. Then a video began playing. A man in a white coat spoke. "If you are seeing this, the countdown has started. Earth will face contact soon. But only those who have proven strength, not in war but in heart, will lead." The screen showed images of people helping others, saving lives, surviving loss, and choosing kindness. Then it showed a warning. The test is not for the rich, not for the powerful. It is for those who endure. Z looked at Mira. "That's you, Mom." Mira stood still. She didn't feel special. She felt afraid. But she knew one thing. If something big was coming, she wouldn't run. She had faced storms before, and she had survived. Now, she would do it again. The old lab of Project Dawn was cold and silent. The only sound was the soft hum of machines slowly coming back to life. Lights flickered as the glowing cube stood in the center of the control room. It spun gently above the platform, sending blue light across the walls. Mira stood beside Liam, her eyes scanning the large screens. Z walked slowly around the room, staring at old machines covered in dust. "This place looks like it hasn't been touched in years," Mira said. Liam nodded. "After I was attacked, they shut everything down. They wanted the world to forget. This place, But it's still working, Z said. The cube woke it up. Yes, Liam replied. Because it was built with alien tech. Half of the equipment here came from what we found in space. Mira stepped closer to the screen. What exactly did you find, Liam? Liam took a deep breath. It started with a small signal. Then we found a dark satellite hidden beyond the moon. It was old, silent, but powerful. We sent a drone to explore it. That's when everything changed. He pointed to another screen. The satellite wasn't just watching. It was waiting. Mira frowned. Waiting for what? A trigger. Liam said, a moment when Earth would be ready. It had a memory system full of data, images, languages, codes. All of it pointed to one message. This planet will face a trial. Z looked up. A trial? Like a test? Yes, Liam said. Not a war. Not an attack. A test of who? We are as a species. To see if we deserve something more. Mira crossed her arms. Deserve what? Knowledge, Liam answered. The satellite holds answers. Technology that could change everything. Clean energy, medicine, faster travel even. Space exploration. But it will only unlock if we prove we're ready. Mira's voice was firm. And who decides that? The ones who left the satellite here, Liam said. We don't know what they look like. We only know they've been watching humans for a long time. Suddenly, the cube glowed brighter. The air in the room changed. A strange light formed. In front of Mira's soft, glowing image. It wasn't real, but it wasn't a dream either. It looked like a vision. Mira stood frozen. Her eyes widened. She saw a younger version of herself alone in a hospital, crying after Z was born. No help, no family, just pain and fear. Then the vision changed. She saw herself working 2 jobs, walking in the rain, holding Z's hand. Tears formed in her eyes. She wasn't just seeing memories. She was reliving them. Then a voice echoed. In her mind, calm, deep, and full of wisdom, you did not give up. Even when the world gave you nothing, you protected life. You kept moving forward. This is what matters. Mira fell to her knees. The vision faded. The cube stopped glowing. Z ran to her. Mom, are you okay? She took a deep breath. Yes. I think it was talking to me. Liam helped her up. The cube responds to certain people. It chooses. That vision was part of the test. But why show me my past? Mira asked. Because your past is proof, Liam said. It's looking for people who have strength not with weapons, but with heart. They stayed in the lab. For ours, exploring the systems, Liam managed to open locked files from Project Dawn. One file showed a map of Earth with red circles across the globe. What are those? Mira asked. Energy pulses, Liam replied. Each one is coming from under the ground. We think it's part of the signal. Z leaned in. So it's already started. Yes, Liam said. These pulses mean the satellite is watching. The test has begun. People might not know it yet, but strange things will happen soon. Like what? Mira asked. Liam looked. Serious, technology breaking, satellites falling, maybe even power failures. The world will think it's just bad luck. But it's not. Z was quiet. Then he said, So, what do we do? Liam walked to a sealed door in the back of the room. We go deeper. He placed the cube on a scanner beside the door. The cube lit up, and with a loud click, the door opened. Behind it was a long staircase leading down into darkness. Mira looked at Z. Stay close to me. They walked down slowly. The air grew colder. At the bottom, they found a small chamber. In the center was a large glass dome. Inside it floated a glowing crystal, pulsing like a heartbeat. Liam whispered. That is the heart of the message. It came from space. The cube brought it here. The crystal glowed brighter as Mira stepped closer. Then a soft voice echoed again. Not from the walls, not from speakers, but inside their minds. She is the signal. She is the proof. The path forward begins with her. Mira touched the glass. The crystal responded, sending a wave of warmth through the room. All 3 of them felt it. Z whispered. Mom, I think it trusts you. Mira looked at Liam. What? Now? Liam took a deep breath. Now, we prepare. We don't know what the next part of the test is, but I believe more people will be called. You were the first. Mira looked at her hands. They were shaking. I'm just a nurse, a single mother. Liam smiled. Exactly, and that's why. You were chosen. You already passed the hardest test without knowing it. They returned to the upper lab. The cube floated above the console again. On the screen, new words appeared. Prepare. Others will follow. The time is close. Mira didn't know where this path would lead. But she knew one thing. She would not run from it. For Z, for Earth, for everyone who had ever felt alone but chose to keep going. The cube had chosen her not because she was powerful, but because she had survived when it mattered most. And now, the real test was about to begin. 3 days had passed since Mira touched the crystal in the secret lab. Since that moment, nothing had been the same. Strange things started happening all around the world. People in different countries reported strange lights in the sky. Some said they saw stars moving in ways that were not normal. In big cities, power grids shut down for a few minutes, then came back. Satellites above Earth blinked off for hours and then returned with missing data. No one could explain it, but Mira, Liam, and Z knew exactly what it meant. The signal had started. At Mira's home near the forest, the cube hovered quietly in the air like before. Its glow had changed. It was no longer calm blue, but a deeper silver. It hummed softly, like it was waiting for something. Mira stood near the window, looking outside. The sky looked normal. The wind was soft, but deep inside her heart, she felt a strange pressure, like the world was holding its breath. Liam sat at the table, typing on his small tablet. I've been checking every news source, he said. Governments don't know what's going on. They're guessing solar storms, satellite glitches, maybe hacking. But no one is telling the truth. Mira turned. Maybe they don't even know the truth. Maybe not. Liam said, but the signal is working exactly how the satellite warned. It's testing the planet, pushing it, watching it, looking for how people react. Z entered the room, holding his notebook. He had been drawing symbols from the cube. I saw this one again last night, he said, pointing to a strange shape that looked like a tree made of stars. Mira looked at it closely. That's the same symbol I saw in my vision. Liam nodded. It could mean life or choice. The cube shares symbols and dreams. The crystal is linked to your memories. Everything is designed to measure how you see the world and what you choose to protect. Z asked quietly, what happens if Earth fails? Liam didn't answer right away. He looked out the window too. There's no clear answer. He finally said, but I think Earth will be left behind, like a locked room with the key taken away. Later that day, the cube made a loud tone. Not music, not a warning, but a call. Z ran into the room. It's doing something. The cube flashed a symbol. In the air, one that looked like a spiral. Then it spoke, not in words, but in feeling. Mira understood it instantly. Someone else has been chosen, she said. Liam stood up. Another signal has been received. Somewhere out there, another person is seeing visions. Another cube might have activated.